Hi, I'm Tina from the Choosy Beggars. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are cooking with chocolate because it's Valentine's Day, and as you know, chocolate is very important on Valentine's Day. We're going to be making one of my favorite desserts. It's so easy to make. It is a chocolate pudding cake made in a bowl, and the best part is that very few dishes and it cooks up right in the bowl that you just mixed it in. Okay. We're greasing the bowl because even though there's a lot of butter in here, it always helps just to get a little bit of non-stick. We're going to be mixing the dry ingredients in here right after it is fully greased. But that's okay. It'll just be like when you grease a cake pan and then you flour it so things extra don't stick. It'll be like that. Perfect. Greased up like a pig. This dish comes together in 3 parts, but it's super dead easy to make. So we're going to start by melting a little bit of butter in the microwave, stirring in some milk, whisking in some eggs when it's just a little bit cooler, and then we're going to be adding that to the dry ingredients in the bowl. We're also going to be making chocolate pudding sauce that goes over top of it. Super easy. It's just boiling water, cocoa, a little bit of sugar, you put it on, bake it all in the oven. I love this for Valentine's Day because it's so easy, it's so quick, but it's chocolatey and gooey, and it's also really fun to make with the kids, so you can get the whole family involved. We're going to start with 1/2 cup of butter, which is going into a microwave-safe dish. I like doing it right into one of my bigger 2-liter beakers. It's just a little bit easier to get the wet ingredients all in there. I've melted the microwave and the butter just until it's nice and melty, and then I'm going to be adding in 1 cup of cold milk. And I'm adding the cold milk because I don't want the butter to solidify, but what I do want it to do is come down in temperature just a little bit so that when I add the eggs in there, they're not going to start to scramble. 2 eggs, cracked right in. If this needs another minute or 2 to cool, give it some time. You do want it to, you want it to be about room temperature because again, you don't want those eggs to start scrambling right in there. As soon as the eggs are added, just give it a little whisk until everything is nice and combined. For the dry ingredients, I'm going to sift them directly into the bowl. And I like to do that instead of using a flour sifter, just right over a mesh strainer. I think it's nice and easy and it fits in nicely into the bowl and easy cleanup. The dry ingredients, again, super easy. Most things are 1 cup, so it's nice and easy to remember. I'm going to start with a cup of flour. Just put it straight in there. And on top of the cup of flour is going to be a cup of sugar, just white granulated sugar. I'm going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of baking powder because we want it to be nice and light and rise up a little bit all around that pudding. And I am already getting myself filthy with flour, but hey, half the fun of baking. And we're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of salt. Might seem like a bit of a lot for baking, but it is unsalted butter that we're using in the recipe, and salt just makes the chocolate seem a little bit richer and a little bit more chocolatey. The last thing is cocoa powder. And for anything that's really chocolatey, where I want a nice strong flavor of chocolate, I like to use a cocoa powder that I like. So I sometimes say goodbye to the Fry's cocoa and I use something like the Ghirardelli, but it's up to you. So we're going to be using 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Oops. Boy, I'm messy today. All right. Now, in terms of sifting this is how I sift. All right, so we have our sifted dry ingredients, we have our nice cool wet ingredients, including our eggs, and we're just gonna add the 2 of them together and give it a stir. We don't wanna overmix, we just want it to be combined. It should be nice and soft. And now for the inclusions. These are optional, but highly, highly recommended. We're going to be adding in just 1 cup of toasted walnuts. You can use toasted pecans, you can use any kind of toasted nut pretty much. I'm just going to pour those in, and for extra decadent chocolatiness, because it's Valentine's Day and that's really what it's all about, we're going to be adding in about 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. No great measurement on that one, but that's okay. And again, 1 more stir and this part is ready to go. The final step, we're almost done, is for the chocolate pudding sauce. So I've boiled up a little bit of water and we're going to be taking 1 cup. I'm using the same container as for the butter because whatever, fewer containers, always better. And dishes, they're not sexy. That's what I have to say when it comes to Valentine's Day. Into here, 1 cup of brown sugar this time, and ½ a cup of cocoa powder. I know that seems like a bit of an odd combination, but you just kind of have to trust me on this one. This is the kind of recipe that your grandmother probably would have made and that you would have eaten as a kid and gone, oh, my grandma's the best cook in the world. So now you can be the best cook in the world. Okay. As soon as it's combined, we are just going to pour this right over top. And that's it. No mixing, don't touch it, consider it done. I'm gonna pop this in the oven, 350 degrees, have it preheated. You want your rack about in the middle, and you're just gonna cook it for about 35 minutes. So this has been in the oven for about 35 minutes, give or take. The bowl is pretty deep and my oven tends to run cool, so I gave it another couple minutes. But if you take a look inside, you can see that it's all gooey and melty and bubbly, and oh my God, it smells so good right now, and pure chocolate yumminess. This is chocolate pudding cake, and I don't know why people don't make it every day anymore. So for our chocolate pudding cake, let me scoop out a bit of this. Oh yes, man, oh man. I don't make a lot of dessert at home, but when it comes to things like this, it just makes you go like, why don't I make a lot of dessert at home? Because I should. I'm just gonna heap that in there. It's nice and crackly on the top. And I think all this needs is a nice scoop of vanilla ice cream to gild the lily and make me think that things don't get any better. So there. If it was just me and my sweetie, I say that we would probably go with the big bowl and 2 spoons. But once in a while, you have to show a little bit of restraint and share. So, chocolate pudding cake, a classic, but a delicious classic with lots of ooey gooey melty chocolate and nuts and a little bit of ice cream on top. Happy Valentine's Day from the Choosy Beggars. As far as licking spoons go, I think that this is a very good spoon to lick.